Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got my Orioles hat on. Spring training is here, Big Ben, and I am excited. Last 2 years, the Orioles have melted down. This year, they're going to use that meltdown, that experience, to do the unthinkable.
Which is what? End up
We-
third in the AL East.
Exactly. Not make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. Come on.
But I want to start the show talking about meltdowns
Meltdowns.
because meltdowns are usually triggered by something. And personally, my meltdowns are triggered by two things: low blood sugar. I get hangry, like
Yep.
upset, and I melt down. I
Yep.
need to eat. And the other is when I know I'm right and someone tells me I'm wrong. That really upsets me. And Major League Baseball meltdowns are usually coming from the strike zone. And we've seen some of the greatest
Ooh.
meltdowns of all time. I'm talking about kicking dirt at the ump,
Vanilla.
throwing things. I love turning your hat backwards to get into the ump's face. And all of this could be coming to an end because we have the automated ball strike system coming to Major League Baseball. Umps aren't going away. We're just testing this in spring training. The umpires will still call balls and strikes,
Right?
but the players get two challenges. Or excuse me, the two teams get two challenges
Gosh.
a game. But here are my points, and then I want to hear your thoughts, Big Ben.
All right.
I've got two thoughts on this.
I've got a lot.
These home plate umpires better update their LinkedIn profiles. Because once this technology train leaves the station, it's not coming back, right? Like we can see the future, we can see what's going on. They want robots in the game. They want technologies in the game. So these umpires are starting to be phased out, kind of like our federal employees.
Wow.
Wow. Second, my hat is kicking it up right
You got to do opposite.
there. We're going to see a trend that might be applicable to your new line of work. You might have some new clients because
Yeah.
we're going to see some stat shaming, not fat shaming. We're going to see some stat shaming because this new Hawkeye system, if you challenge it with the tip of the hat, one of
Yeah. Yeah.
these,
Yeah. Yeah.
they show it on the Jumbotron
Right.
and on the TV screen. And you know, within 17 seconds, if the umpires are wrong. So I think they're going to accumulate all these stats and be this umpire is the worst in the game, and they're going to get stat shamed, Big
I
Ben.
know. Jeez. So it's interesting you bring this up again because that I did watch that Hawkeye technology and they used it in tennis. Now there's a degree to which it is because it takes a lot of calibration, right? People throw different pitches. We're seeing like the distance drop rates, spin rates, variables that we haven't seen previously in previous seasons now presenting from different pitchers, different types of pitches, and so forth. So it's going to have to adapt. It's all like in your world, machine learning, where the more pitches the thing's seen, the better it's going to be, right? So I think for Major League Baseball this first season, I do like the idea of the old tap the hat and everyone looks at the Jumbotron. Is it a ball or a strike? Especially if it's, say, a close game, it's a 3-2 pitch. That is interesting to me. And maybe there's a quota or a percentage that, if an umpire sits, he gets to stay around.
Yeah.
If he's right, let's call it 98% of the time, 97, I don't know what they find, he sticks around. I mean, that might be, you never know. But what I think, I'd love your take on this. I think Major League Baseball is just trying to become more efficient,
Yeah.
right? Not speed up the game, but become more efficient, become more consistent. What it does take away is kind of the human element, as we talked about, but the idea that um, we do have a technology now that we didn't have previously that can level the playing field across. A lot of people, Angel Hernandez.
Yeah.
If he was calling balls and strikes against the Yankees were losing. Like that. That was like the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no longer this idea that an ump has it out for a particular team. But yeah, the umps, God, you've been marginalized, right? If
Yeah.
you're the home plate umpire, you've been marginalized. Now tell me, is it obviously Hawkeye technology? It's going to frame it, right? Once it hits, does it does the umpire hear it or, receive word if it's a ball or strike, or is it simply put up on the board?
Listen, they don't televise these spring training games, so I can only go by what's on Twitter or Facebook. So they show it on the Jumbotron. Like if you're watching a game at home and then you see the graphic
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
white box and you see the ball come in, and if it's
Yeah.
in the box, it's a strike. If it's not, it's a
Right.
little low. They show that on the Jumbotron, and then I believe the umpire can go back and look at a device to see it as well.
Okay, so it's traditional balls and strikes. If there's any question if it was a ball or strike by anyone, then they go to the
Well, the
jumbotron.
batter, catcher, or pitcher have to
Initiate.
indicate that they challenge. So I do like that. It doesn't go like, oh, do we look in the dugout? Do we see it? It's instantaneous, right?
Uh-huh.
So if I step out, oh my God, that was a ball.
Yeah.
Pitcher gets the ball back. I've got to challenge it immediately. I can't wait. I can't look into the dugout. It's an immediate challenge. And I actually like this system. I think baseball's got it right. They're evolving as the game's evolving. And you said it earlier. How many people are throwing 100 in this spin rate? And
Yeah.
the human eye can only detect so much if I'm sitting on this side, peeking over this guy's shoulder, looking for a ball and strike. You can't see the other side of the plate. So I think Major League Baseball got it right. They're testing it out in spring training. It's not going to be launched this year, but I think in the coming years, we could see this as early as 2026.
And correct me if you think I'm wrong here. I think this is advantageous for hitters, right? They're going to be able to hone in and know exactly where the zone is, right? There's going to be no question where the zone, because it's the same each night, right? It doesn't vary, right? And normally you have umpires that will have a zone, right? And you have to adapt through that throughout the game. Here, we know where the zone is, unquestionably where it's at. It's from the plate, end of the plate, end of the plate, in some degree up or down. So I think it's going to be advantageous for the hitters.
I agree because the pitchers would always try to stretch that zone a little bit. And
Exactly.
then the hitters know that if the umpire is calling it out there or up there or down there, they have to extend themselves to hit an uncomfortable pitch. So give them an inch, they'll take a foot.
Exactly. Exactly. I, to be continued, to be seen, to be evaluated,
Yes,
we need to head down to spring training again.
we do.
We do.
And you know what? Everyone else needs to head to YouTube to watch us live each and every week. Hello and welcome to Big Ben and K Winn. We broadcast live on YouTube. Drop your comments below now or on demand. If you're more of an audio podcast, don't worry. Download, listen, subscribe. 5 stars. Drop your comments there too. Today, we are going to talk about NBA mids, March Madness pretenders and contenders, social media mentions, and much, much more. I'm K Winn. He's Big Ben. Where do you want to get started?
But first, I want to talk about Magic Mind. So the power of ingredients. I let's see here. Magic Mind, their sourcing and for ingredients is unique. They go out and get the best of the best. And again, we're not talking about formulas that's grand or it's you got to shake it in a big bottle. It's just finite, right? So we can go get the best ingredients, the stuff that's going to pack the most punch, that's going to do the most for your body and mind. The highest quality, cleanest projects that you can get. There's a new discount code available for you
Oh,
because I
yeah.
use it. Again, my mind is, I wouldn't say it's magic yet. It's getting there. It's getting there. It takes some time, right? But it's making it. There's a new discount code and offer below. Only available for the first 10 users with 40% off. So that's www.magicmind.com/Big Ben K Win 40. And use that on top of your subscription that you could get for additional savings. I mean, it's nearly free at that point. I'd be give
Exactly.
Hey, and it's a wonderful gift too. If you know someone that's a, naturopath or likes the idea of clean body, supplemental supplements, like I would say myself for the most part, unless I'm chowing on a cheeseburger. But Magic Mind does that for me. It starts the day good, clean, gets me set. It's consistent. It's part of my routine. Magic Mind. That's www.magicmind.com/Big Ben K Win 40 to add 40% off your next purchase and 40% off your prescription. Sharper mind, cleaner energy. Magic Mind.
I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. Had to walk the dog, had to get ready for this pod, had to crush some live sports. I was able to do it with a mental performance shot of Magic Mind. I love all the fresh ingredients. They've got turmeric, which shows it can bring you good luck. Also, it helps
Ooh,
with anti-inflammatory, keeps those joints and muscles tight. It's also got a little bit of lion's mane, Big Ben. And you know what that does? Tests show that it treats various health conditions,
ooh,
including depression, anxiety, and stress. So check it out. Use our promo code 40% off on your subscription.
lion's mane.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Boom.
Let's go. Where are we going?
We go NBA or college?
Let's go NBA. Hey, big
Okay.
game tonight. Big game. I
Big
almost
game.
wanted to propose this to you. Lakers Mavericks tonight. I believe in our quest for the most wins from the trade point.
Mhm.
I believe I have 5 wins for the Mavs, and I believe you have 6.
Okay. Head to
So
head.
head to head tonight,
I
it could be
go up,
six
you go
six.
down.
Exactly. This is big swing game. Big swing game.
Yeah.
So big game tonight in the NBA. Uh,
If you do
let's.
DraftKings, take Luca for a 50 burger.
Ooh, revenge game. You're right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that.
Triple double, 50 burger. Now, let's be realistic. Triple double, he's going to get 42 points.
He might eat a triple double, couple triple doubles in and out before the game. You don't know. Let's save it for after, Luca. Let's put up that triple double. What do you want to get into with the
I
NBA?
want to talk about mids. That's right, mids. MIDS. I can spell that. I can't spell pronounce. Might not be able to spell promise from last week, but mids. So, what is a mid? It is an employee in corporate America that is just medium. He's just average.
Middle
He's
of
in
the
the
road.
mid tier of the company. He's not one of those high performing, impactful people. She's not one of those high performing, impactful people. They're mids. They're average. They're just getting by. So I want to talk about the NBA mids that seeds 3 through 6 and which of them can realistically win a title this year.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to go? Or you want me to go?
You go.
Okay. I got two. I'll start in the East.
Okay.
Everything's got to go right. But if Giannis plays
Oh,
like the
come
two-time
on.
MVP Giannis on both sides of the ball, dominating offensively, helping out defensively, blocking shots, shutting down people, the Milwaukee Bucks could win a title. If that happens, and there's another big if, Kyle Kuzma, he's a third option, right? They've got Dame, they've got Giannis. There's games where Dame might be off. He doesn't get in foul trouble. He doesn't play any defense, but he might be a little off based on the matchup. They're going to need Kyle Kuzma to step up and be a 20-point per game scorer in the playoffs. He's going to have to facilitate the non-Giannis minutes, and he's going to have to step up and be a playmaker and add a little something on defense. During the Lakers title, he was that third guy. He learned how to cut and play with AD and LeBron. If he learns to play with Dame and Giannis gets back to that MVP level, the Bucks are my midi that could win an NBA title this year.
See, I think the Bucks are going to be cursed by the Chris Middleton trade. Like, I think he was just too important to that team and that franchise for that matter. Like, he left and everyone, like, there was some, he took a lot of good juju of that franchise out. Like Dame hasn't been there for a while. He's been there for what, 2 seasons, 3?
Yeah.
Giannis is the guy, but he's been injured and hurt. Chris is kind of like the staple, right? Kuzma is, he's a midi. He's a midi. He's a midi.
He is a midi.
He's a midi. Kuzma is a midi playing on a midi team. Let's be honest there. I don't think he's your guy, number 3. I think Chris Middleton was 3 and D. He could get you, right? He was pragmatic within the system, knew how to score while not just taking over the ball, right?
He was an all-star playing at a high level before he
Within the
got hurt.
flow of the game, right? Like, I don't see Kyle Kuzma bringing that same juju to the Bucks. I just don't see it. I want to propose another team.
All right.
Okay, if you go out west, the middies are kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
You got Memphis, Los Angeles Lakers, the Rockets, the Clippers. But I do want to propose the team that we always talk about, and you're probably favorite player in the NBA right now. I would think big win last night, blocked SGA at the hoop, and that's the Timberwolves.
Okay.
So Ant, like Ant can't. He's got to be a top 6 seed. Like, you can't play in the play-in game and be a top 5 player in the NBA. You can't claim that. Like, you got to get your team into a situation where they're not in a play-in game. But I don't with Car. Did they are my question to you is the Timberwolves, are they lose continuity with Towns, right? Is
Yeah.
Gobert just nothing more than a guy standing in the key hoping to block you? Like, you can't run offense through Gobert, but he's got to be on the floor because he does play so well in defense and transition and so forth. So is Ant the guy? Like, can he carry the Timberwolves, right? The way, like you talked about, Giannis can probably carry the Bucks, right? They're different players, but I don't know. Ant's not a midi,
No.
but is he the guy, right? Is he the guy that's crushing quota each quarter? Doing 160%. I don't know. I don't know. At
Yeah.
this point, I think he's the guy that does it every other quarter. I don't know if he's that consistent yet. You tell me.
The problem with Minnesota is Gobert's hurt now. His back hurts. Randall's been out. But even when they're healthy, they're clogging the paint.
Yep.
And so when they're clogging the paint, there's not much you can do in the form of like lanes to get to the hoop. So Ant and most of the team have been shooting threes like the rest of the NBA. Ant's been better from three this year, and he's shooting at a high clip. It's Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid. They have to step up and take on more of the scoring load consistently. I think when Karl Anthony Towns was there, they felt more comfortable in their roles. But
Yeah.
now with Randall out, Randall transitioning, Gobert out, like when you're like, hey, you got to go get me 25, Naz Reid, I don't know if he can do it against the defense that's keying in on him. So I don't know if this is the year for Minnesota. I think they need to get another piece this season. But I guess we'll see, because when there's a great player, if he can bring everyone up, anything's possible.
You got a lot of rim attackers on the Timberwolves, like you said. Like, traditionally, you'd see Cat kind of as players are going at the rim, he might fade out to the 3-point line, right? You just can't trust Gobert to do that. The other intriguing, I want your take. Since you're in LA, the Clippers.
Ooh.
They're in the 6th seed. They got talent, right?
Got a great coach, one of the best in the NBA. I just don't trust them. Like that person that knocks on your door in the middle of the door, I don't answer because I don't trust what they're selling. I don't trust what the Clippers
You
are
don't need a
selling or
new
giving
vacuum.
me, because James Harden, someone told me, when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. We've seen what he's like at the end of the season in the playoffs. And we've seen Kawhi not being able to play in the playoffs. So I like him as a regular season team. Norman Powell's playing well. They got Zubac, one of the best underappreciated centers. But I just don't trust James Harden and Kawhi in the playoffs. So I'm going to give you my other midi, Memphis Grizzlies.
Oof.
It could go up or down in the West because it's so close. Right now they're a 3 seed, so they qualify as a midi. I like them. They got Ja, Desmond Bane. They've got your boy. That's right, your boy.
Who?
Jalen, let me get this correct.
Wells from
Jalen Wells,
WSU. Hey,
WSU
yeah,
rookie, second round pick. Starts at the 3, defensive stopper, fits in. Jaren
perfect.
Jackson. They got Zach Edey. They got Aldama off the bench. And you know what I like? Is Ja's been a little banged up this year, and Desmond Bane's had to take over, and he's added a little something to his game. He's playmaking. So they don't have to just rely on Ja. They got Ja. They got Bane. They got Jaren Jackson, who's an all-star.
Yep.
And they got a lot of pieces that come in and they play hard and they play defense. So I think that they could. There's another if there. Ja's got to get back to remaining healthy. But I do like what the Grizz are building. I'm picking up what they're putting down in Memphis.
The thing about the Grizz, they're so good at home, right? Like, they're gritty. They play to kind of that Memphis persona. They're really good at home. If they can get a 2 seed behind Oklahoma City, that's very advantageous for them.
Yeah,
But Jaren Jackson could win Defensive Player of the Year now.
good.
And Jalen Wells steal of the draft. I think he's a second round guy. Nice player, perfect 3D.
And I
Well,
like them because you got to get easy buckets, right? Like this
yeah,
whole 3-point shooting mirage thing, like you're not going to shoot it like the Celtics. Like they're that good. They can do
yeah,
it. But Memphis can score inside. They've got
yeah.
these big. And they can defend, and they rebound, and they're tough. I like Memphis.
I do too. I do too. We had a little. How much time we got left in the NBA? We
One,
get into 2 more months.
we've got till April. I think mid-April. Tax season. Do your taxes. Watch
It's
my Memphis Grizz
it's
win.
kind of nice, we get it. So we'll get into March Madness here in a second, but you get into March Madness, that kind of takes you into the NBA playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It's like this you kind of distracted by what's going on. Then all of a sudden you get the playoff race come April. I'm looking forward to that. Can we go to March Madness?
Let's
I want your
let's
take.
go.
Okay, so the first round is of I forget what region. It must be the West region. It's being played here in Seattle. So
Boom.
we're going to see 3 games. We're going to see the field of 64, two games being played, and then we'll see a field of 32. So we're going to say 3 games, 3 sessions. But more importantly, we're getting to, bubble watch, bubble watch is coming down the pipe. So we've seen teams like Kansas, who is a preseason number one, now out of the top 25, just descended like
Getting beat bad.
BYU.
Crushed them.
Smoked them. I watched that game. I was texting all the family members who are big Jayhawks fans, and it looked like Hunter Dickinson just runs from the bottom of the hoop to the bottom of the hoop. He's the most robotic play I've ever seen in NCAA. They can't figure it out, but I got a couple teams. I'm going to start with the Big 12. I want you to tell me, are they contender or pretender? Meaning they're at a. These aren't going to be the highest seed, but they're probably 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5 seeds that
Wait, contender or pretender two?
you are going to trust. Here, hold on. You are
Okay.
either going to trust to get to say the Sweet 16 or beyond,
All right.
or you're saying early exit, right?
Okay.
You're gonna pick against them. They're gonna get upset by a mid major or whatever it may be. So I'm gonna start in the Big 12. Tommy Lloyd. Gosh, these guys are ascending, and then Arizona. They're 12-4 in conference. Big 10, Big 12, probably the third best conference in maybe third, fourth, maybe in and around the ACC of the Big 12. Contender or pretender? Tommy Lloyd, Arizona. Boy, Caleb Love. We talked about him last week.
Pretender. They're not even
Ooh,
getting out of the first weekend because they
ooh,
don't play any defense and it's
ooh.
inconsistency. And when your best player is inconsistent, I can't consistently pick you to the Sweet 16 or Final Four. And Tommy Lloyd, great recruiter. We don't know if he's a good coach yet. Pretender.
Pretender. Okay. I'll go with you on that one. Tommy Lloyd's a great recruiter. I don't know if he's got the X's and O's
Yeah.
to make it happen, right? He can bring people in. Just getting them to mesh might be the one of your best players, Diallo, transferred. That kind of tells you something. Like I just don't like how we're playing or what's going on systematically. My next team, same conference, big win against Kansas. I think they got the number one recruit in the nation coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
BY, I mean, this guy is nuts. He's hanging out with Shaq. I can't. It's but BYU's trending up.
Yeah.
10-6 in big win against Kansas. Really good at home. Provo, six-legged flight, no matter how you count it. BYU contender or pretender.
Contender. I'm
I
saying
like
Sweet
it.
16, depending on
Woo.
the bracket. I think they get out of the first weekend. I saw them play that game too. They can shoot it. They space the ball. They've got bigs. They've got depth. They've got, veterans too. So they've
They,
got these older players that know what to do. I'm
they
going.
You're going BYU sold. Taken.
Contender.
Pick it. Sweet 16. I do too. They remind me of like Princeton, just more athletic. When Princeton used to play with back cuts and all these things. Really smart, really good game, but just more athletic. Okay, I want to go next to the ACC. Two teams.
Okay.
Louisville, 14-2 in conference, top 20 team. Um, I haven't watched them play all that much. I think the airways have been jammed with SEC teams this year. But Louisville,
I haven't seen him play enough, but I'm going to make my prediction based on the conference. The
you can
ACC, they're
hold.
down.
You can
They're
hold.
down. I'm what?
You can hold. You can
No, 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 no.
down
Pretender.
pretender.
ACC's down. They might get 2 teams, might get 3 teams. Like, watch Duke. They win every game by 20. I was listening to a podcast. What happened to Carolina, Syracuse,
Ooh,
Virginia, Miami, Florida State when they were a great basketball conference? Now it's Duke and Clemson In Louisville, I don't know.
You, you can't have three. You're saying there can only be
I'm
two.
just saying the conference is so bad that Louisville and Clemson look good, but they won't look good come tournament time.
Okay, that's my next team is Louisville, or excuse me, Clemson. Big win against Duke. They got Chase Hunter. Um,
They win
fine
their first
selling.
game of the tournament, lose the second game. I'm down on the ACC this year.
Really? Okay.
Shorten
AC
the
selling
ACC. I
selling.
like Duke, but I don't like anyone else.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the most boring conference in basketball, but yet one of the best. The Big Ten in Wisconsin, 11-5
Ooh,
in
they're
the
actually in my
conference.
notes. Actually, they aren't in my notes, but yes, I like them.
You
They're
like them?
good. Yeah,
Okay. That's all you need to say. Let's go to Michigan.
love
13
them.
to 3. You
Love
love
them.
Michigan.
2 7-footers. They got Trey Johnson. They got Dusty May, who was at Florida Atlantic.
Yep.
Final Four 2023. He
He
can
knows how to do
coach,
it. Been there.
knows how to do it. Ann Arbor, Michigan is back. Contender.
Okay. All right. Last one here. Probably the best conference. Some say the 16-team conference. Some say maybe 14 teams.
I know. It's crazy.
You can have an outright losing schedule. And
Yeah.
before I do want to call
Could you
out,
imagine if they put them all in the South, seeds 1 through 14?
just play the conference tourney again.
Yeah.
Uh, so I texted you about this. I like Arkansas.
Yeah, you do.
They're one of those bubble teams. I
I
think it's a
know.
coin flip right now. But the reason I like them is, gosh, they got some pieces. I watched them play against who are they? They got a 7'2" guy from Croatia. That's
He's
just
good. Big
nuts.
Z.
Yeah, Big Z. He's nuts. And I feel like it gives me the feeling of back in the day. I told you this, where Kentucky would have all these prospects, and they'd be like, I don't know what this is going to look like, and
Yeah.
somehow Calipari would pull it together for the tourney. They'd be a 5 seed, 6 seed, and all of a sudden they do well. But the two teams I want to discuss, a team that's 7-7 in conference, but yet in the top 20, Kentucky.
So am I picking Arkansas or Kentucky?
Well, you can give me buy or sell on Arkansas. You can sell Arkansas. I know you want to sell
I'm
Arkansas.
selling Arkansas. They're one of those teams where they could lose the first round or they could go to the Final Four.
Exactly.
That's how much talent they have.
Yeah,
I'm staying away from that because that's too much risk for my bracket.
The risk
Kentucky,
profile.
I'm buying Kentucky.
Okay. I like that.
To get through the first week in Sweet 16, I think Mark Pope's doing a great job. We brought some of his players from BYU. I like them.
Okay. The next one is it's an odd team, but they have some big profile wins, big quad one wins. I mean, you beat a team in the SEC, it's a quad one win
Yeah.
these days. Missouri.
Pass. I don't know enough about them.
I'm selling too. They're little too. They're midi.
Yeah.
They're midi.
They're like their football program.
How many? Can a conference? It has a conference. I don't. It has. I think you have to go back to the Big East when Chris Mullen and St. John's, Georgetown and Ewing, and Villanova and who was their guy? Ed Pickney.
Yeah.
3 teams in the Final Four from the same conference. I think that's happened a few times post, but not that often. SEC could do that pretty easily.
Okay.
Like you look at
the record for teams from a conference, I believe it's 11 or 12. They could get 14.
You look. The reason I bring up Arkansas, you put Arkansas in the SC or the ACC. I think they're probably a top 4 team in the ACC.
They'd probably win the ACC.
Very very well could. They'd be competing with Duke. I agree with you with the state of that conference. I'm personally excited. The fact that I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go to one session at least.
Okay.
We're going to go on Friday, but I'm personally excited for March Madness, not just the brackets, but just due to the overall story it tells. One shining moment.
Luther Vandross at the end.
Luther Vandross is the best part.
Yeah, I love it every year. I shed a tear every year.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who's winning it? You had to pick one.
H-Town, baby. I'm going Houston.
Whoa.
Cougars. Kelvin Sampson. They play D. They lock them up. Some opposing players have said it seems like there's 6 players in the court because it's stifling defense. They got enough offense. It is his time.
I I can't get off Auburn
Yeah.
simply for this.
I was gonna say them, but like
They got the formula. Like they just got. I mean, they got guys that are ball dominant forwards, right? Guys that can go to the rim. That it's not like this. You know how point guards? It seems like point guards come in. They're dominant during the season, but then you can stuff the paint in the
yeah.
NCAA tournament. Like they're just running a better athletes. Auburn has like four guys that can just get the ball forwards that can go score one on
Janai
one.
Broom. He might
Yeah,
be up there for play of the year.
lefty.
They've got 3 23-year-olds, one 24-year-old, and one 25-year-old. Because of this whole COVID waiver, they went all in on experience.
And I think it's going to pay off. Like I could see Auburn winning double digits throughout the tourney,
I could
like
too.
that good. And they got a really good coach.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right,
I got to get out of here.
let's go. Let's go. You got to go.
Yeah. Do we
All
have
right.
time for social media mentions or no?
Yeah. Let me do a quick one because it actually caught on again. So we had how to fix the NBA All Star Game. U.S. International and the losers get tariffs imposed. So this actually took. There was an LMAO. I'm in favor of this, and I could see this. They did this back in the day. They had the Coliseum and whatever people take place, battles for land or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
In this case, it's tariffs. Under the current political regime, I don't. This it is feasible, but I doubt it would happen. But here's what I will say: I think you saw it with a Four Nations Cup, and in hockey, a lot of people watch that. I think there's intrigue into countries.
Yeah.
And why not NBA? Do it. International versus US. Let's do something unique.
Do
I
something
think
different. I like it.
has it been done?
Not in the NBA format, I don't believe.
Let's do it. I think
Yeah.
it'd be wonderful watching all the best international versus all the
Be
best.
great watching Jokic, Giannis, and Shea give us the business. All right, next one. I said TikTok is back. So are the Celtics. At Sadia2 on IG said no. Watch out for the Warriors. They are back. The Warriors are back. They're 5-1 with
No.
Jimmy Butler. They look great. They look great now in the regular season. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. But they are playing better. And Draymond Green made a guarantee that they're going to win the NBA championship, so we don't even have to play out the season. The Warriors are going to win it all.
Draymond Green made a guarantee.
Yeah.
What? Like Draymond Green is carrying that team. He's option 6 in the offense. Like that's. I'm trying to think what the equivalent of that'd be. It'd be like.
That'd be like an offensive tackle on the Rams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The right tackle.
All right, we got to get out of here. But before we get out of here, make sure you check out our brand new promo code. That is magicmind.com/Big Ben K Winn 40. Magicmind.com/Big Ben K Winn 40. And you get up to 40% off of your subscription. Magic Mind, sharper, clean energy with that mental performance shot. All the best ingredients. So make sure you use our promo code. Go to our link, check out, and you get 40% off of a subscription. I'm K Winn, he's Big Ben. And we didn't have time to talk about this, but I'm coming up your way to Seattle. March 17th and 18th, you mark your calendar.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, I want to see Kennedy and Chris. I'm going to babysit. You and Shark can go out to Pesos or Cutters. You can throw the fish at Pike Market.
We'd go find a nap.
You can ride that little, that carousel.
The most, overrated carousel in the country.
Yeah. You can go to Joey's and get a burger, whatever you want.
We're looking forward to it. Boom. Let's get out of here. Enjoy the day. Good luck.
Later.